We are live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Another great edition of Chef and the Fox. We got a great show for you today. Once again, we'll have Sean Shorkey breaking down some NCAA basketball. We'll have myself breaking down the latest soccer action. Chef Michael will be obviously joining us in just a little bit. We'll also have Locke breaking down some NHL as for as well. Want to get you quick. Tried to come on 5 minutes before because I saw a bunch of games essentially we're on. Obviously, the bottom of the screen is telling you what we're on. Atlanta is already going right now. We're looking at essentially, unfortunately, we're trailing 1-0, but hopefully we'll get this both teams to score. Not to issue. They have kind of let us down in some recent weeks. UV's later today. Fulham's in 5 minutes. I'm on Fulham money line. Chef Michael's on Fulham draw no bet. Either one's a great bet. I like your chances there. Draw no bet -120 not there. I like Derby draw double chance. That starts in 5 minutes. Wayne Rooney is in the lineup. I did confirm that before I took that. Chef Michael's on Wofford draw double chance. Being able to take that half point before we get going. Let you know essentially what we've got going on. We hit the Preston bet this morning. That was great to see. It's always nice to start the day off with a winner. We're on a couple premium plays that are kicking off right now. One's still in a tie, and the other one essentially is a 0-0 game. So that's also always available for you today. But welcome, everybody. We've got a lot of great slate of college basketball games that we're going to get into. We're a little definitely light on the Premier League there. We only had 4 games basically today, and they're all kind of suck. You had Everton, which I did hit on a personal bet. I always kick myself when I don't give it out as a play, and it wins kind of easily. And then obviously Chef Michael's on Wofford draw double chance. Welcome. Hope you're having a great Saturday. Need to have a good Saturday today, especially since my garage door opener just busted up. So hopefully we have a good day. Trying to work to get somebody on to talk a little MMA today. We'll see if that works. Hopefully I'll be able to get a response, and we'll get someone on to talk some MMA. Most of the matches that I looked at looked to be kind of completely one-sided matches that we're on right now. Right now, of what we got going on, we got Fortuna Dusseldorf has scored early on Wolfsburg team. We've talked about early. We don't know if this Wolfsburg team is really any good. But welcome everybody in the chat. Welcome Yellow. Welcome everybody else. What is everybody looking at today? Anybody have a game we obviously want to break down and discuss? I actually really like the card tomorrow more than I like the card today, but obviously we've got some plays out there, so hopefully we'll all be able to cash without any issue of what's going on. Hopefully everybody made money on the Super Bowl bet. I know Shock gave you San Francisco. I gave you KC. I gave you the KC special. I thought they'd kind of win that game. I was KC in the under, so hopefully you guys cash some money with that. Just waited for Sean to be able to jump on here. And we'll discuss some of the basketball games going. A couple of games kind of going forward that are not kicking off at 10 o'clock that I'm looking at. I love this Dortmund game. Dortmund versus Leverkusen. Personally, I'm on the over 3.5. Marco Reus will not play for Dortmund. He is definitely going to be out. That is definitely a hurt. If Bender's out for Leverkusen, that's going to kind of hurt their defense. He's questionable to play. I'll keep you in mind of that when the lineups come out right now. But I definitely still think I'm barely buying into the Eric Holland wonder kid. Him and Sancho playing really well. I think we'll be able to get some goals. Might get Giovanni Reina in this game as well. He scored over their match earlier during the week, which is always nice to see if you're an American. Is there Sampdoria's later today at 12 o'clock. I'm on that with the draw no bet. I think at worst you push. Torino's been really, really weak as of late. They come in this game basically of losing 4 straight. So I kind of like that Sampdoria has a very good chance here. UV versus one of the hottest teams in the league in Verona, but I really don't think. My headset kind of gave me a little kind of weird light, like it wasn't picking me up. All right, just wanted to do a mic check, send something out, making sure everybody can actually still hear me. According to this, it can. So definitely just want to make sure because I'm not hearing anything else that's going on right now, but that's fine. Just want to make sure I'm coming in loud and clear. Look at this PSV game, this Getafe Valencia game. That's going to be a very interesting thing. Is Getafe for real? They've been playing really well of late. That game just kicked off at 0-0. I took a small personal bet on Getafe. I'm not. That's Sol Valencia has been kind of weak lately. Hopefully, basically, Getafe at home will at least be able to bring that home. Plus, you were getting a little bit of plus money on it for a hot team. Small wager. Took my chances. We got some very interesting NBA action that's going to hit off today. Obviously, with the trade deadline, a lot of teams have kind of changed what they're looking at, kind of who they're setting up. But I sit there and I look at a couple games that are really kind of catching my eye. I think the Houston Rockets are a better team in this new format with Russell Westbrook. I will tell you the NBA was garbage last night for one thing. The Dallas Mavericks proved essentially how to continue to lose a game that they were easily winning. What's up, Rich? What you doing? What's up, Sean? Thanks for joining us. Yep. I was just breaking down some soccer action that we had going on right now. I was starting to go in the NBA. Was there. So a couple things I'm looking at. Milwaukee, Orlando. I love Milwaukee first half -4.5. I don't think that'll be any chance unless you get some really, really late scratch. I love Milwaukee -4.5. New York, Detroit. Oh, God. Someone has to play in this game. Somehow Detroit won a basketball game yesterday with like the worst lineup I've ever seen. Thon Maker actually proved he belonged in the NBA. He actually went off at playing at the center position, which was very interesting. But that's going to be an absolute pass for me. Dallas and Charlotte. Dallas on a back-to-back. Again, like I said last night, they were my kick in the pants play. I was on Dallas. Unfortunately, we're up 5 points twice within the last 4 minutes with the ball, and twice we turned the ball over from a steal, and they hit a three. And that's what just killed you. And then Wizards had the ultimate plan. What you do is when you're in a tie game, you foul a guy 90 feet away from the basket, which automatically gives the team a free throws, which they knew Dallas was only going to hit one of two. Then you were going to have 1.8 seconds to give Beal the ball and him to hit a layup off the backboard, and then to win by one. That was exactly their plan. It came out exactly as they wrote it up, and it worked to fruition. Unfortunately, screwed every one of us. New Orleans and Indiana, I think, is going to be a very, very good game. I'm not on anything on this because Brandon Ingram is a game time decision. If Ingram doesn't play, I'm going to be all over Indiana. Oladipo will be out this game. He played the last game, but it was always he was going to play one and then sit the other. TJ Warren may be back this game. That really kind of helps this Indiana team. I know it's on a back-to-back, but if there's no Brandon Ingram, I'm going to be on the Pacers pretty quickly. Brooklyn, Toronto, 13 in a row. 13 in a row for Toronto if you haven't been watching. And I know they're going to be a back-to-back. I don't think Lowry plays this game. He actually had whiplash last night. That's going to be one of the interesting things. So Toronto -7 is not something I really love. It's going to be probably a pass for me. The new look Minnesota Timberwolves with D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns. I'm telling you right now, I'm just going to take the over, and I'm not even going to worry about this game. Minnesota plays no defense. Having D'Angelo Russell there is not going to change that. They're going to jack up shots all day long. They basically almost will have an entire new starting five. So you make trades, Minnesota, that you replace your point guard. You replace your shooting guard. You actually then turn around and put your draft pick, well, you've been playing point guard all day, put him at his natural position as small forward now that you got rid of Wiggins. Then you're going to start Hernan Gomez, and you have Canty. The only two starters is Culver moving from point guard to small forward, and you're going to then do it Carl Anthony Towns. Everybody else is new. Malik Beasley should play, should start. Russell will play, should start. I'm on the over. I think it's way too small at 230. I think that goes over pretty easily. Lakers, Golden State. Yeah. Rich, just like the last time they came out with this great XFL league. The only issue I have with that is there's smaller play clocks. And that basically is going to possibly be very interesting to see. I got to look in the rules. I haven't even looked at Lakers at Golden State. That may be the worst game ever on TV. You replaced D'Angelo Russell with Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins doesn't shoot consistently. And that game will be terrible. The Lakers coming off losing to Houston, which is abominable. Especially since the tallest guy they had on the floor was 6'7", which it was hilarious if you listened to the announcers because they were trying to say that, well, he may be a smart guy. He may know more than anything else. And then Shaq and Charles going, by the second half, they're just going to be exhausted. The only problem is the Lakers, for some reason, were exhausted just the same and couldn't figure out throw the ball to your tall guy down low. They did a really good job first quarter, terrible job third and fourth quarters. Couldn't score the basket. Denver at Phoenix, I don't know why this is 2.5. I really don't. I think Denver's going to win this game. Phoenix ran up the floor versus Houston. Who cares? Denver's going to lock them down. I like this play a lot. Spurs at Sacramento, another team on a back-to-back versus a team with a very short line. Something's very fishy on that. That's probably a pass on me. All right, but until that, since we got in a little NBA action last time, we got it at the end of the show. This time we got it in the beginning of the show. Shorkey, how you doing today?
Pretty good. Kind of annoyed early this morning. I took some tennis action, and my guy lost in the last set in the last tie break. He could have won, and he just screwed up twice and gave 2 points to the other guy and just lost the match. So pissed off about that, but I got on your Atalanta play. I have both teams to score there and the over 2.5.
Okay.
So just looking, I guess it's 1-0 right now, right, at the half?
It's 1-0 at the half. We just kicked off for the second half here. Hopefully Atalanta will come in here with a little bit more fire. But right now, yeah, Fiorentina holding on. So.
And then I played some English championship stuff, which kind of tailing. What's that? It's team with an L. I forget.
Leeds?
Championship. No, Luton or something.
Luton? You took Luton?
No, I didn't take them. I took both teams to score in that one. So I don't know.
I can definitely see that. Yeah, if you got both teams to score in some English championship games, that should almost be an autoplay. I don't get any both teams to score in an English championship game. Luton's defense is terrible, but Cardiff's offense is just as worse. So yeah, good luck. I think you still got a good chance on that. Definitely a good chance. So definitely kind of looking. Let's break the act. Let's break down into college basketball. We wait for Chef Michael to come on before we talk about some of the other games that are going on right now. There's a couple interesting games that I was wondering what in the world is going on with the line. Kentucky at Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean that one. It's a 2-point. I think it's at 2 right now, right, or 2.5.
Yep, it's at 2.
I mean, yeah, Kentucky's coming off that home win at versus Mississippi State, where they covered. I think they covered that game. It was like 6.5. They might have won by 8. I think this line actually started at. And I looked at it late last night before I passed out on the couch, but it was like 4 points. It's what it started at. So it's been bet down. I think a lot of money's come in on Tennessee, which is why it's now at 2. But, I mean, in that like if it was still at 4 points, I would say maybe you take Tennessee, but at 2 points or 2.5 points right now, I would kind of go with Kentucky. I think it really comes down to, can Tennessee find its offensive efficiency against Kentucky? But I think also the line is influenced by the fact that Kentucky has not won a game in Tennessee since 2015, I think since the past 5 years. So, but that was also a different Tennessee team. They lost a lot of those players.
It's from college basketball. It's a different team every year, especially in Kentucky. Those 5 guys are gone. They left. They went through. The next 5 are on. I mean, I was going to say, do you put a lot of faith in that stat?
No, not at all. I mean, it's those kind of stats, but I don't know if those. I wonder how much those, if anything, they ever influence a line or not. I don't think so that much. I don't put, but like you said, it's a different team every year because it's a different, the kids graduate, kids go off to the NBA, and then you have different, but just coincidentally though, for the past 5 years, they've not won at Tennessee. Both teams aren't good at the 3. Both sides have height. I mean, both sides have height and size. So I actually, instead of taking I would probably lean Kentucky, but I would actually take the under. And I think I saw it at like 133. I would take the under in this because Kentucky has I think it's the 6th highest offensive rebounding rate in the nation, and Tennessee has the lowest actually defensive rebounding rate in their conference. So I can see that if like Kentucky is up on Tennessee and Tennessee's struggling to shoot the ball, then Kentucky's going to slow down the tempo. They're not really going to put up a lot of points. And again, this is SEC play, so there's always going to be a defensive battle. So I don't see that many points going up. So I like the under here more than a side, but if I were to pick a side, I'd pick like Kentucky with the 2 points or 2.5 points.
Yeah, I think that line's too short. I don't see enough players. I know they've got some players that got eligible late for Tennessee, but I don't see it. Their best player is still hurt. I don't see it. Atlanta ties it up thanks to our friends again at Soccer24, giving us the live scoreboard and the new X thing. Both teams to score cashes already if you're on that. So definitely that's at least another winner today. So that's positive. Let's get this over 3.5 too. 800. So definitely kind of get a good start. So what else are you looking at? So what are your plays today? Let's go over those first, and then we'll break down some of the other games.
So my plays, I would say I was looking at just scrolling through the list of games. I definitely like Indiana at home. I think they're at -2.
Yeah, 2.5 is what I'm saying, but yeah, I love that. I think that line's too short.
Basically, I mean, there's no really. I mean, I could break it down a little bit, but it's Purdue. You bet them at home. If they're on the road, you fade them, and it's just as simple as that. Because their team is night and day.
Don't you do that with the entire Big Ten?
Yeah, I mean, except recently though. Now we're getting to the second half of conference play, and I think a lot of teams are. There's some teams that are fighting. Because they want to be able to get into the tournament. We had Maryland win on the road the other day. So we've had Michigan State losing on the road. I mean, not on the road, but like Michigan State losing at home. So there has been a little bit of a regression to that statistic. But just in general, like if you watch Purdue, they are totally night and day. Like they blew out Iowa at home by 100 points, I think, almost 100 points. That was on like Tuesday or Wednesday. And I like this spot for Indiana because Indiana has just lost 3 in a row. Now they're back home. And again, if you've seen Purdue on the road, they suck. They are horrible. So definitely a good bounce back spot here for Indiana at home after their 3 losses. And the 2 points is, for a home team, I would take that.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of the plays I was going to look. So that'll be official play. Indiana -2.5 or 2, depending upon what you can get at your books. Let me take that real quick. Also, today, there's a live play I'm going to take right now. I'm going to take Wolfsburg, draw no bet, live at plus 180 right now. Wolfsburg's at home. I'm watching this game. I like my chances. We almost just scored there. I'm going to go on a live play. Wolfsburg, live, draw no bet, which basically means as long as we score 1 and we end up in a draw, it just cancels our bet out. If not, we get plus 180 if Wolfsburg picks up 2 goals on this, which I think they very well can be as well.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, is it possible for them to pick up 2 goals?
Yeah, the way they're playing, yeah, definitely. So I'm even in that draw no bet line just dropped to plus 175. They definitely have a chance. I mean, the over 2.5 is still minus 133. So they're still looking at there's going to be 2 more goals in this game.
I just took it.
Yep. So definitely looking at that. What else are you looking at? I looked at this North Texas versus UAB. That seems to be a very good game, especially on a lower level team, with North Texas winning the last game, but obviously not covering. Some up by 10.5, but yep.
Yeah, I like North Texas there. I mean, they're still one of the top teams in covering the spread. Although I know last game they didn't. I don't know how much did they miss it by. It might have been, I think, like a point.
They missed it by 2.
Oh, by 2. Okay, yeah by 2 points.
But it was a 1-point game. Then it was free throws. The other team came back and missed it. Hold on, we got a special guest. Your mama's. I have no idea what his name is reading here. What is that name? Your mom's secured funding. What is that? Safe. Your mama's safe.
Your mom's favorite capper.
Oh, your mom's
favorite capper.
All right. What's up, Twatty? Sorry to interrupt you there, Sean. We got Twatty again, walking, traveling. Where are you, in a mall?
No, I'm in a store.
Okay. All right. Welcome this morning. What are you on this morning, as obviously you're out and about?
Well, I did look at my 2 favorite teams to bet on, obviously, West Virginia and Pittsburgh. So I'm going to probably – what's that?
So West Virginia is in a very good game today. It's definitely not a easy one, but
Oh, I know, and they're different on the road. I mean, at home they're one of the best teams in the country. On the road, they're probably still, an average to above average team. But I'm going to buy the point, get that down to 1.5 if it's still available. Hold on 1 second. You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You guys still there?
Yeah, we're here.
I'm going to buy the point, get it down to 1.5. Yeah, down to 1.5, and I'm going to do the same with Pitt. I'm going to go from 2.5 down to 1.5 on both those games, and those are going to be my 2 plays.
So Pitt, you're taking it down from 2 to 1.5 versus Georgia Tech?
Well, when I saw it, it was 2.5, so I'm going to take it down to 1.5.
Okay, all right. So Pitt minus 1.5.
And then I'm going to take West Virginia from yeah, right. And then I'm going to take West Virginia from 2.5 to 1.5.
Yeah, I see it at 3 right now. What do you see it at Sean?
I see it at 3.
Yep.
Oh shit. Yeah, then I may back off of that for the moment. Then.
Okay.
I mean, 1.5 is a huge difference to 1.5 to 2. Shit.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, but yeah, the line's definitely moving in your favor. The money's coming in on West Virginia.
Oh, okay. I think there's still a basket better on the road. I know Oklahoma's no joke, but West Virginia's a basket better. But again, at 3, I'm going to probably stay off of it. If it was 2.5, I'd buy it, get it down to 1.5. Go ahead and take that. But either way, I'll take Pitt down to 1.5. It'll probably cost me 10 to 15 cents to do it. So I would expect minus 125 or something with that alternative line.
So you're not going with the Pittsburgh under?
No, I looked at it thoroughly. I mean, I studied that over under for 2 hours probably, and I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
Yeah, 131 is that really kind of interesting number that's right there. So yeah, I had it right around that number. I don't see there was any value where it's at right now. So yep, definitely kind of can see that.
Yeah, both teams offensively are bad. I think both are above maybe 246 and above in the country in offense. So yeah, I mean they're not good offensive teams, and Pitt's a really good defensive team. So if I had to lean, I would lean under, but I just couldn't. I didn't see enough value there. I had it right around 130 myself. So what are you guys on?
Right now we're breaking down. We're on Indiana minus 2.5. I've got the soccer plays that I'm on right now. I've got a couple other basketball plays. We haven't really got to it yet. To kind of discuss. Sean, you were just talking about the last game. Do you want to any play on North Texas UAB, or it's stay away for you?
I don't really have a side on it. I'd probably lean North Texas. But yeah, I don't really have a side on that. But getting to, I want to go back to Twatty's point on West Virginia and Oklahoma. I like that too. I mean, the one thing that West Virginia has is defense, and their defense can travel. So even if they do struggle on like the offensive side of the ball, and like Oklahoma like causes a couple turnovers, you can almost guarantee that West Virginia's defense is going to lock down Oklahoma from putting up too many points. So at -1, I like West Virginia. If it's getting up to like 3.5 or it gets up to 4, then I would probably lean more to Oklahoma because they're at home. But yeah, if earlier, if the line was like, if you get it at like 1 or 1.5, that's good for West Virginia. I think West Virginia can pull out the upset here, but if it is 3 or like 4 points, I would lean with Oklahoma to perhaps cover that in a really, really close game.
All right, so if it gets up to 4, you're leaning towards Oklahoma. Right now we're at 3. We've got Andrew Wozniak asking in the chat about Michigan State. Do we know if Livers is going to play?
No, it's still a game time decision right now. But this one's like, I think what is it? Is Michigan State is a 2-point favorite right now? I think. Yeah, I mean, this is Michigan State going on the road into Michigan. It's a rivalry game. Michigan State coming off back-to-back losses, including that loss at home versus Penn State. So you'd expect them to be fired up. But Michigan might, again, they might be getting back Isaiah Livers, and it's a rivalry game, so you can expect Michigan to come out fired up too. And they're also coming off losses. Yeah, and this also a rematch because I think they played early in the beginning of conference play. And then when you get to a rematch games, especially in like conference games, I think you get more value on dogs. At 2 points, I would lean with MSU, but if it was like 3 or 4, I would probably go with Michigan because, it's a rivalry game. They're at home, and it's a rematch game. So, the dogs show a little bit more value. It's also a motivational spot. Yeah. Oh, were you saying something, Twatty?
No, I was talking to this other guy.
Oh, okay.
But I would like to say something.
Oh yeah, go. Okay. Go right ahead.
I'm just fucking with you. No, Michigan State is one of those teams. They remind me of Purdue. They remind me of West Virginia. At home, they'll just blow your doors off. On the road, it seems like they play down to their competition. But at 2 or 1.5 or 1, Livers are not. I mean, Michigan State's the better team.
Yeah.
Even on the road, I think. If it's
I definitely think the
Michigan State.
I think with all the issues that have happened in Michigan State, that you're looking at is kind of the. If this game was at home, I probably would take Michigan. And the reason with that, with everything that's happened with Michigan State right now, that you have all the scandals, you have the coach for firing, especially in the football. He's a close personal friend. Everything that went through, his whole wife essentially was consoling him. Izzo's wife is essentially consoling D'Antoni's wife, D'Antoni's wife, essentially like most of the week. I could see this being a huge distraction if it was there, but away, it's a chance to forget everything. You just deal with what's at hand. I think Michigan State rolls here.
Yeah. Because my issue with Michigan is that, coming off that Ohio State loss, they're giving up the highest 2-point scoring rate in conference play. And Caleb Weston on Ohio State, he dominated Michigan on the inside in that game if you watched it. I think Michigan State can follow that exact game plan and just dominate Michigan on the inside because they have the ability to do that. And get away from the reason why they lost that Penn State game is because I think they threw up 23 3-point shots. All they were doing is just chucking the three instead of playing interior, basketball. So I can see them correcting that at Michigan and coming up with a win here, especially with 2 points. I would take, like Twatty said, Michigan State's the way better team, more talent. So I would definitely go with Michigan State.
All right, I'm going to make that official play. I've read enough. I've looked at enough. I've heard you guys' opinions. I'm on Michigan State -2.5. Official play. Definitely taking that. I kind of like that as well. Looking at some of the 12 o'clock games also that are going off, we got our favorite team to fade versus our favorite team we don't really believe in. They actually finally lost the basketball game, which was shocking. LSU at Auburn. Is there enough points listed in this matchup here? Is Auburn back for real? Again, they still only have 2 losses. For all the times we crap on them, they came from behind last week versus Kentucky, and not only came from behind, basically just blew the doors off right at the end. They beat Ole Miss in double overtime. They beat Arkansas in overtime. Still, none of those are convincing wins. Versus the 17-5 LSU team, which we don't want to say is any good, but just generally wins basketball games. They lost to Vanderbilt, which we got to talk about Vanderbilt, but we'll get to them later because that team completely shocks me. There's something I'm probably not aware of. They beat Ole Miss, they beat Alabama, they beat Texas, beat Florida. Texas is another team. Based on what I saw versus Kansas, they could be turning the corner here. What do you like? LSU versus Auburn, and you're getting 5.
Yeah, I would actually go with LSU here. I think with the 5 points. I think this line is kind of saying what the market's saying the same thing that I have, which is, is LSU who we thought they were? Since, they lost that game to Vandy. Now you have Auburn here, who's a 5-point favorite coming off that win against Arkansas, which, like you said, they won in overtime. And as it, I think sometimes like a loss like Vandy that LSU had, which they had no business losing that game. As much as I hate on LSU, they should have dominated that game against Vandy. And I think this is a perfect spot for them to refocus and snap back into it to kind of realize that, hey, we won all these games. They probably got caught off guard here by Vanderbilt. They lost that game. So now it's a situation for them to refocus and be hey, we are susceptible to be beaten. So we got to get back to do what we do. I think you're going to see a motivated LSU team give a really good effort. And like you said, you got Auburn who's basically pulled a rabbit out of the hat in their last 2 wins. And their record doesn't represent their play. There's a bit of there's a bit of magic in that record. And pulling games out of your ass when you're basically down, I think you can only do that so many times before like regression sets in, before like you just can't pull that magic out anymore. Like coin flip wins. They won against Arkansas because, and this is what really pissed me off, because I had Arkansas in this game, and it was almost a 10-minute stretch. Arkansas went without making one field goal. So that actually just shows that without Isaiah Joe, how bad Arkansas is. But that's some luck for Auburn. Like Auburn you have to be absolutely lucky for a team to not make one basket in 10 minutes for you to be able to pull out that win. Like that, it wasn't more on what Auburn did. It was just more on what Arkansas wasn't doing to win that game. But Arkansas should have won that game. So I kind of like LSU here as a 5-point dog.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was leaning. I was leaning to take an LSU with the points. My other fact, what I was going to do is probably going to take the over, because if Auburn comes out to play here and the game's closer, I see it going over, because that means Auburn's hitting their threes and keeping this game closer. Blowing them out by hitting their threes, and that'll give me the over. So that's kind of where I would lean. Not an official play, but definitely something I would look. We got my favorite game, Miami and their 6-person squad versus FSU at FSU, but you're getting 13.5. Any play on this, or you're just giving like Miami played them close in Miami, but I don't see it happening there. But 13.5 is too many points to take FSU here. The only thing I can see you looking at is take the under.
Yeah, I would go with the under too. I would think Miami. You don't know if Miami's going to be able to make baskets or not, and FSU plays a pretty good defense, so they should make it very hard for Miami to put up points. And I don't think they're going to have to play at that fast of a pace to be able to have to like put up a lot. So I like the under here. I would lean with the under.
I'm going to give another live play. I'm going to take my favorite bet of all time, which is money line draw no bet. We're going to take Hoffenheim, draw no bet live at plus 345. I think this pushes, but it's worth to take the chance at there. Hoffenheim has more shots on goal, more attacks, more chances in this game. I think they're going to at least get one. We're still getting a minus number on the over 2.5. So the bookies still think that there's going to be some goals in this game. We got the whole second half to begin with. Hoffenheim's been kind of a team that's come on strong, played really well second half the last 2 weeks. I'm going to take Hoffenheim live as an official play. Draw no bet at plus 345. So if we get 2 goals in this game, just like the others, we'll cash out pretty nicely. All right. Let's look at enough of the 12 o'clock games. Rhode Island, GW. They play a very terrible GW team, but do they cover 10 points?
I think GW covers 10 points in this. Yeah, I would go with that's actually make an official play as George Washington plus 10.
All right, so we're going to make George Washington plus 10. Rhode Island's a team that's definitely turned the corner. It's coming on here. Nice season. At the beginning of the year, I didn't think they were that good. They're Atalanta. Bam, baby. 2-1. There we go. The over 2.5 hits. Both teams to score hits. Atalanta. Yes. There we go. Nice. Come on. Now we just got to play some defense, which is now this is where you squeeze your cheeks together with Atalanta and say, yeah, can we hold on? But even if we miss that, 2 out of 3 is not better, but I want the 3. I definitely want the 3-0 there, especially because normally anytime I take 3 things on a game, all 3 lose. Just guaranteed. This is going to be a shootout. It's 0-0. All right, cool. Yep. All right. Let's see. This cares. Let's go back. We're still reviewing. Oh, it's a gorgeous goal in the bottom right-hand corner. Keeper had no chance. There's no chance this could be offsides or anything else. That definitely is going to count. All right, looking at other opportunities, if there's any more live betting. If not, we'll kind of move on. Let's shoot over. So we're taking Rhode Island minus 9.5. I got to take that real quick. While we're doing that, anything else while you're looking before I run through the next group of games here? Just so I can get on the – oh, Rhode Island's down to 9. I'm going to jump on the 9. So I'm definitely going to take that. Sean, what about DePaul, Georgetown? I know we've been cashing with DePaul, but we're getting a lot less points than we need to.
Yeah, I think this all depends on Matt. Who's it? Matt McClung, I think is who plays for. Am I saying the name right? So I think he's day to day, and Georgetown might sit him another game. And Georgetown's coming off that home loss versus Seton Hall. DePaul's lost 10 of their last 11 games. I don't want to bet against DePaul because there's something weird about it, right? So they started the season at 12-1, and now they're 13-10. So I guess like there's always they haven't like lost anybody. So there's always that potential. Where DePaul can just come out and they can get back to be that 12-1 team that they were. So I'm kind of going to stay away from this one. And I guess it all depends on if Matt McClung is starting for Georgetown too. But if he's not, I would lean towards DePaul with the 5 points. But I certainly don't like betting against DePaul, especially with this Georgetown team, which is kind of off to me.
Okay, definitely see that. Let's go to my worst play that I had last week was Kansas -14. I watched the first game. Oh, come on, Wolfsburg. Damn it, he's going to see red. Damn, Wolfsburg's going to go to 10 players, hopefully video assistant. They called this for violent conduct. Oh, that doesn't even look. Come on. The guy falls down in the middle of a free kick, and he sees red right away. I'm trying to look at the replay again to see what he did. Might have pushed him, but... Oh, he pulled his elbow back, and he caught him right in the back of the face. He went wham, just like that. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be overturned. The worst part is that it's Wolfsburg's free kick. Do they get penalty here? Nope, ref doesn't want anything to look. No, oh, wait. We're going to VAR here. We've got conversations here. This could really, where's this? Oh, it definitely comes off his hand. It's a question whether we're going by the Premier League rule or we're going to go by the Bundesliga rule, which obviously we should go by the Bundesliga since we're in the Bundesliga, but sometimes you never know with these refs of what they actually call. So Kansas TCU, 8 points.
I mean, I think this is the point of also in conference season, how we're talking about. It's like the middle of conference season where some teams start turning it around. But I think there's look-ahead spots in conference play, right? So Kansas at TCU today, but then they're against West Virginia on Wednesday. And you got to remember, we're dealing with college kids. These are like 18, 19, 20-year-old kids. They know what's up. They know what their schedule is like. They know what games are coming up. It's not like they don't have a clue. So, I don't want to say that Kansas is like comfortable. Like they're gonna come out comfortable. Go, what's up? What happened?
We got that goal, so we're tied in the Wolfsburg game right now.
Wait,
all right.
That was a
even with 10 men. Yep. Well, it's not over yet, but we at least we're back to where we're pushing that. So the only problem is we got 10 men. So yeah, sorry. Let's continue, and then I'm going to bring Locke on to talk some NHL. Yep.
Sure. Yeah. So they know what teams are coming up. Not saying that TCU is going to win this. But being 80% focused versus being 100% focused could be enough for TCU to cover an 8-point spread. I don't like assuming, I guess, motivation, but I'm just saying, they know what's on their schedule. These are kids. They probably have confidence enough to know that they're gonna they're going to trounce TCU. So just saying that if they come out and they're not totally 100% focused on winning this game and they're looking ahead to maybe West Virginia, saving a little bit for that game, that TCU can cover the 8 points. And it's also a motivational spot for TCU because it's an in-conference game. They lost 6 of their last 7, and now they're at home, and Kansas is a ranked team. So anytime you got a ranked team coming into your home and you're losing, that's going to give you a little bit of motivation to like upset them, or at least give your like best to try to knock them off. So TCU is 18th in the country in 3-point shooting rate, and Kansas has given up the 32nd most points, or they're 32nd in most 3 points given up in the country. So
I see TCU as 113th in 3-point shooting at 34.6. Yeah.
Oh wow! Oh, at shooting, no, but giving up.
Okay. All right, defense. Yep.
Yeah. So TCU is 18th in the country in their 3-point shooting rate. So if they can get hot from the 3, then they could keep themselves in the game. TCU does have the size to match up with Kansas on the inside as well. So I guess I would lean, if it's like 8.5 or 9 points, I would lean with TCU, but it's kind of a stay away for me. Maybe if you want to live bet it, but yeah, I would
I keep giving Kansas with these huge spreads, and they don't even come close.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing I look at. They don't even like come close. This is hilarious. Wolfsburg has less guys, but they keep challenging here. We got another free kick and another good position that comes through. Come on, let's bring this home. That'd be a nice start. Welcome to the chat. In case you don't know it, the man, the myth, the legend, Adam Locke, who just gives out nothing but locks. They're 100%. Put your house payment on it. They're locks. Nah, I'm joking.
His name is Locke.
When you do, don't tell me about it because I'll fucking lose it.
Well, that was like my Friday. So I started my Friday picks, if you did see, going, all right, I was 5-0 2 weeks ago. I was 4-1 last week. This week, it's Friday. Make sure you got it. But basically, I gave all the picks, and I said, I'm sure I completely jinxed myself since I said I did so well the last 2 Fridays. And then I come out with like a 1-3. And I was like, yeah, might have pressed there.
It's one of those things where when someone will just tell me like, oh, like I chose this one. I was saying that to Swag 97 or whatever in Discord, Twatty's Discord this week. If you're gonna follow my stuff and you just randomly pick one of my plays to follow, you have no basis for why you chose that other than whatever. Don't tell me about it. Just play it, because obviously you're making your own decision about my selections, which is fine. But that's your pick now. Just like that. That's your play. That my plays are all the ones I post up. So yeah.
If you want to know about the play before you choose it, I'll gladly tell you why I chose it.
Yeah.
But if you're going to hit me on why during the game, why'd you choose this? I'm like, dude, do your research. You can see that, and there's things that, especially in soccer, like this Wolfsburg game. I've watched this Wolfsburg thing, and I knew Wolfsburg was going to get back in this game. But I can't play for a guy getting an elbow to the face on your own free kick that you just happen to strike the guy behind you, and then you get a red card. I mean, obviously it's stupid, but you're like, come on. Those are kind of things you just can't play for. Soccer definitely has a lot of things you just can't. Like a stupid penalty where the ball just bounces and it hits the guy accidentally and it's called a PK or things like that. All play a big deal sometimes with soccer. If you had stayed away from the Columbus game, you would have been perfect last week.
Yeah.
Yeah. You hit everything else. You hit the Habs, you hit the Hawks, you hit the Canucks.
Who did they lose to again? Columbus? Oh, Buffalo.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, that was yeah. Then we see the Wings beat Buffalo in the next one or 2 games later or something like that. That's right. The plays that have been given out on the show have been like the best ones of my cards. It's actually been kind of funny these last couple weeks. So but maybe also I gotta say the ones that I give out on here are the first ones that I've hit, because I still have like half the card to get through. So it's usually the ones that either have the most value or like the most, I guess you could say, of a card. So I mean, that kind of feeds into it. Maybe I should just stop at this time 11 Eastern every week and just say, if I didn't get the bet in by 11 Eastern, don't like it enough, that's my card.
That's the way we all do it. I mean, we go 3-0 mid-afternoon in soccer, then we're like, all right, we're headed to NBA. Let's go. NCAA. Let's go. Mississippi Grand Valley State. Let's go. You can't lose. We're taking you. All right.
So, yeah, we just, as you said, we just had our show. The one I gave out on there was Kings money line in playing in Jersey today. These are two. Did you want to get into hockey now, or do you want to finish up with your football?
No, we can get hockey. Basketball goes on for there. We covered the 12 o'clock games for the most part, so people should be able to get anything in there right now. So we can always come back because we got some 1 o'clocks and 2 o'clocks, but obviously we've got time to get that in. So yeah, I'd love to cover hockey right now.
Cool. That's great. Yeah, I've got, I think, like 10 or 12 down so far. So, but yeah, the Kings in Jersey today, two really shitty teams. They're out of the playoffs. They know they're out of the playoffs. The Kings sort of made their first trade this week, sort of accepting that fact and sort of looking towards next season. They come in as a slight dog between, plus 100, plus 110 at the moment. And I have them just marginally as a slight favorite, just above a coin flip. But, with these teams, Devils have a slight advantage on the offense, but, they're so susceptible on the back end that, the Kings, they get put enough shots. It's just a matter of probability that you're going to get a couple in. So, so that's sort of my play of the day. I'm also on the over 5.5 for that, which, they're two of the weaker offenses overall based on their numbers this season. I think they're both averaging like 2.5 goals a game, but you got to keep in mind that's also playing against some very good defenses, not teams like LA and New Jersey every game. So even though they're low scoring, I do expect them to expose the weakness on each other's back end. That sounded a little bit wrong, but on each other's defensive ends a little bit more.
What is Valentine's Day next week?
Is it?
Yeah, it's Friday. If you're not aware of that, so yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right. Okay, so that's the first two that I've hit. Then I took the Florida money line. They're hosting Pitt. I don't love it because of how Florida's been recently, but this should be a minus 110 both ways kind of game. I get why the Florida's where it is, but they're capable of beating Pitt. They beat them in the last one. Maybe you want to take the revenge angle on the Pens. That's fair, And the Pens, they didn't look bad in the loss against Tampa. Tampa is the hottest team in the NHL right now. And we've seen teams that, lose the first game in Florida, come in for that second one ready to go a little bit more. I forget who it was. It just happens consistently. Teams have a short distance to travel. They don't feel like, partying in Miami. And so they just focused on the next game at hand. So keep that in mind. It's not something I love, but I do like the dog number there. I'm also on the Golden Knights hosting the Carolina Hurricanes. They're about minus 125, I think, right now. Vegas walked into Carolina and won 4-3 the other day. They were the better team for most of that game, and then near the end, Carolina kind of showed some resurgence. Fleury is going to have to continue to be just incredible on the back end to continue to make sure the Knights lock up a playoff spot. Carolina looked really bad against the Yotes the other night early on, and then I think they scored. I think they were down 2-0, and they ended up winning 5-3 or something with an empty netter. So it's one of those things. The Coyotes are struggling in their own right now. So yeah, it's kind of like a revenge spot for the Canes, but Vegas returning home now off of a good trip, that is a spot that sometimes you look to. But at this time of the season, teams are less likely to come out slow knowing that they need 2 points when you lose a game and all of a sudden you move 3 spots in the standings. So I do like the Knights tonight. I'm also on Dallas money line heading into St. Louis. Lost last night against the Wild. Lost in the final 25 seconds of the game, I think it was, with a wraparound goal from Greenway forget Foligno maybe, forget who it was. They played good. They had a 2-0 lead. They looked really good in the first half of the game, and then Wild get a really lucky one to tie it. A softie that goes in on Bishop's like under his arm, and then I thought it was a very even game. Wild, their Stars could have won it. I think they're just, you come in off a back-to-back with a loss you probably shouldn't have had. You're focused on the next one. I think it's just they're a little bit undervalued here against St. Louis, who has, kind of cooled off since they had put together that really good win streak in early part of the year. So I like the price on the Stars. And then I'm on the Islanders money line in Tampa. Hey, Twatty, what's up, man? Yeah, happy to be on here. I'm on the Islanders heading into Tampa. Big dog number. The last time they came to Tampa, they smoked the Bolts. Now, Lightning are playing a lot better than they were at that time of year. But the Islanders, this is a playoff team. This is a team that if they play better defensive hockey than the Lightning, they could somehow squeak out a win here. It's not something that has a high probability, hence why there's such a big road dog. But this isn't nearly. I think the price I have is 62% to Tampa, and their price.
What kind of number did you get on this?
It was plus 191.
Okay, it's almost plus 200. Okay, I could see you taking a chance.
That just adds value. It's not something I'm going to get carried away with an alt puck line. Islanders have been quite inconsistent on their own defensive end recently, and the way the Islanders need to win is by not allowing other teams to get 3 goals. I mean, a lot of teams, that's how you have to win. And 3 goals is a dangerous number to try to compete with every night. But what I'm saying is the brand of hockey that the success of the Islanders have had over the past year and a half is by keeping them to 2 goals, 1 goal being in low-scoring games. And so this is not a game you want to have a shootout with the Bolts. If it is, the Bolts could easily run away with it. So, and no, I don't expect a 5-1 drubbing from the dog here. But the price is just a bit too short on Tampa. And then totals, I'll just run through these quickly. I won't break them all down, but you can ask about them in the chat if you want. I'm on the Boston over 5.5, the Florida over 6.5, the Edmonton under 6.5, the Washington over 6.5, the Blues over 5.5, and I mentioned the Devils over 5.5, and Montreal over 6.5. That's one of my article plays today. Leafs heading into Montreal. I was surprised at how nice the price was on the 6.5 number. Not sure why it's not juiced to a 7. Toronto has just been an over machine. Montreal has costly turnovers at every turn. They also have a good offense. Yes, it could stay under to a 3-2-4-2, but we should see goals. And it's never over with these kinds of teams. Like, they have just been letting everybody back into games consistently. So 3-1 lead, you think going into the third, you're thinking, oh, it's over. Maybe look at an over 1.5 for that third period. But yeah, so Sean, those are my plays today. I know it's a lot, but you know how I like it.
Oh, that's fine. Point Wagers got a question. Would you favor taking the plus 1.5 for the Islanders? I see it at minus 145.
No, because what ends up happening is sure, the Islanders could cover that number. They could lose in a shootout and you cash it. But with those plus 1.5 numbers, you generally only want to take them when you have a plus number on them, because what ends up happening is you hit the occasional one, but you end up doubling up on your loss for the ones you don't hit. So it seems like the Islanders need to cover plus 1.5 to win, or they could get it to a shootout to win to cover. But with the prevalence of empty netters or higher scoring games this season, it's not something. This is either an Islanders close win or a Tampa blowout, in my opinion, for this one. So I don't see the value on a plus 1.5. I'm not going to tell you not to take it. But for my approach, I just stay away from those plus. I think I've taken 1 or 2 plus 1.5s all season, and I have 1,700 bets down for the NHL this year. So it's not something I'm too high on.
I'm sure someone's going to only pick out 2 of them though today. So
I love.
I'll be I'll take them in an ACA because I don't want. If I'm just going to do that, there because I'm not going to take him straight up because I don't want to pay the juice. But if I throw it in an ACA, sometimes I will. So
yeah, I mean exactly. That's different because then you have that overtime shootout security kind of thing where you lose there, and there could be a lot of games that go to overtime tonight. Saturday nights, teams kind of get ready for Saturday nights, but yeah, so that's my card.
no problem. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of action as always, but you're killing it. So, like you said, more wins than losses. That's the name of the game. You also take advantage, obviously, when you see things that are 50-50 games, but you're getting plus money.
Yes, exactly.
Why not take the shot on the other side? Yep.
Yeah. It's funny because I've had trolls before say like stuff like, it's like you're flipping a coin. I'm like, yeah, it is, except that the coin that I'm flipping has a 20-cent percentage plus price on my side of the coin. So you flip it enough times and you're going to come out on the right end enough times, the profitable side. So, it's for me, my approach is not about, it's like this guy, this just idiot yesterday. I took the Pistons to win at plus whatever 600-700 whatever they were, and he goes OKC is going to win by 20, and I'm thinking, yeah, I mean they're priced at whatever 87-90% to win this game. You're not telling me anything I don't know by saying the heavy favorite should win this game. It's about trying to find value over the long term, even if you can define value however you want. And he said they're going to win by 20. They weren't leading by 20 all game. So it's one of those things where everybody has their own approach. Mine is heavily based on exposing value over a high volume to get that nice turnover. But anyway, I'm going to hop in the chat and have a listen of what you guys got going on in the other sports. Appreciate you having me on, and anytime you want to holler.
Again, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it, Locke. Thanks.
Have a good one, guys. See ya.
All right. So that was Locke. You've got all the picks of the plays. We take it home with Atlanta. The game is over. So we go 1, 2, 3. The both teams to score hits. The over 3, pushes. I saw this. So we go 2-0-1 on that. We also have the man, the myth, the level, Chef Michael, coming on. He has got through his internet issues. We are set to roll. What's up, Chef?
What's going on, guys?
Hey, it's going on.
I broke down the plays before this started. I know you were on Wofford, draw double chance. That game gets ready to kick off. You're on Fulham, draw no bet. We're at a 0-0 game. I'm on Fulham money line. So we're definitely both thinking in the same way. A couple of the live bets that we took in this play. I will say in a premium play, I lost in Lorient, draw no bet. Stupid 90th minute goal. Killed us on that. I've got 2 live plays going on, Chef, and I just took it based on the value. We've got Wolfsburg, draw no bet live when they were down 1-0 at plus 180. And I've got Hoffenheim live, draw no bet at plus 345. What else are you looking at today? Sheffield Wednesday, I saw you pushed.
I'm hopping
the
on.
Everton game, I thought you were ready to probably kill somebody.
I'm gonna double up on Fulham right now. You can get the money line right now at 3.0. They've been pressuring. They should have at least 1 or 2 goals by now. I mean, they've dominated possession. They've got shots on goal. Blackburn doesn't even have a shot on goal and has less than 40% possession right now. So I think Fulham's going to find one here.
All right, what do we got? So you're going with Fulham. We're going money line, or we going draw no bet? What price? You said 3.
No, I'm taking the money line now. 3.0 is. I mean, I got the draw no bet at 1.8. So.
All right. Let's go to England.
By the way, Rich, I saw your thing in the chat. I like Ole Miss at home plus 3, but we'll get into that later.
And we can still get Derby County. They're up 1-0 at the half. We can still get Derby County at 1.8 on a money line. I've been riding Derby County since Wayne Rooney came down there.
Yeah, they've been a different team since era. If you see I'm on Derby draw double chance. So right now I'm liking where I'm standing right now with that. Let's see here live. Oh. Let's go.
And then I have Sampdoria Drano bet from the Serie A show.
Yeah, I was on that as well. I definitely like that play real quick. I'm going to switch my headset real quick, so it's just going to refresh for a second.
Sure. By the way, Michael, thanks for those Australia plays the other night. I passed out on the couch, and I was like, I was trying to bet on some night college basketball, like late games, like 10, 11, but I just fell asleep, and then I wake up and I'm like, crap. I'm like, I had potential to win money. And I was like, I can't. I just open up my Twitter feed and your thing pops up of the two overnight games. It was from Australia. I was like, you know what? I was like, I'll just take them. And then I went to bed again. I woke up in the morning. I was like, sweet.
Yeah, that's the good thing about Australia. You can make money while you sleep.
Yeah. And this game seemed like they're like.
We were all going to be on Sydney. Sydney was going to be one of my favorite plays. And then.
Well, that one got canceled, right?
Yeah, you got forest fires, unfortunately. And it was, nope, goodbye. Yeah.
And then, but the other one is like Adelaide or something. I don't know how to pronounce that team, but.
Adelaide United. That's normally Jeff's play. I saw that you did not go with them. I thought, and then of course they lost, so that was definitely a smart.
No, he went with the over. I think in that over 2.5 goals in that match.
Did you? Did I miss that
or something? I don't know, but I know whatever he had up, I won. So.
Yeah, Australia used to be. They used to be like the Bundesliga. It was one of these kind of secrets. Like last year was just like. Take the over 2. Any game Perth played, any time Melbourne City played, any game really Sydney played, for the most part, you just took over 2.5. Then they started making the lines 3. And then it kind of went like the Bundesliga used to, which is a joke, but used to all be 2.5. Used to have 2.5 every week. And it was like, all right, I'll take Dortmund, Bayern, Mainz, everybody over 2.5. That was the play, and you just stuck with that play, and that's all you really needed to do. Didn't really need a cat games. Union Berlin got another goal. Werder Bremen, one of Alex's picks, money line. That one doesn't look like it's coming through.
Yeah, that's why I don't go to Germany.
Yeah, Germany's been very tough. I am actually completely shocked we got Freiburg. I'm actually completely shocked we've got the Schalke versus Paderborn is the game on television. It's there. Any live opportunity on Getafe and Valencia? Are you watching that game at all?
I'm watching it. Schalke is up 1-0. I had Schalke -1 pregame.
Paderborn is terrible, especially on the road. I was talking about the Valencia game.
Oh, Lecce? I don't have that.
Valencia versus Getafe.
Oh,
0-0 at the half.
Oh, no, I don't go to Spain either. Those two leagues this year are just crap.
You take Real Madrid, you just walk away. That's it. Except for this week, but I was on Real Sociedad plus the 1, so that covered kind of easily in the midweek cup. That's going to be like the worst Copa del Rey ever. You have Athletic Bilbao versus Real Sociedad. Boy, that's going to fill out the stadium.
That's the Basque Derby. That'll be cracking. They're playing this weekend too.
Yeah. Are we surprised Mainz only has 1 goal?
Nothing in Germany at this point surprises me.
Mainz has generally been a solid over team and hasn't sat there. Your Luton-Cardiff game, like I said, is definitely looking for goals. We're at 0-0. Derby's at the half, up 1-0. Do we double up on that? What do we got coming up later that you kind of like? I know the 12:30s. I know we both kind of thought Not there. I'm on the over 3.5 in the Dortmund game. I think you're going to have a real good chance on that. I'm interested to see if Malin plays for PSV. If Malin plays, I'm going to be on PSV. If Malin doesn't, I won't. They can't score without him. Too easy of a shot. Got deflected on its way in.
I'm going to be paying attention to the Juventus and Verona lineups. I think Verona might have a chance to come out of there with a result. They're pretty tough at home.
Yeah, they've been a really, really tough side. I'm hoping Juve gets it together, realizing that you really got 1 week until you're getting ready to start playing some Championship League games. So, actually, they realize they got to get points.
Yeah.
So we have the little one here coming to say hi. Tell them who you like today.
Yeah, what's the play of the day?
Liverpool, plastic bandwagon.
Liverpool doesn't play today. This is the guy who walks around right after the AFC Championship game. Was it the AFC Championship or was it the wild card game? He turned into a Chief fan. He's just running around going, KC's my team. We're going with KC. What a bandwagoner. And he was making a joke out of it there. But yes. So he's the one who gave me the idea to use the Discord. So Stoke's going to score again, make it 2-1 against Charlton. Do we think we got any more goals in that game? Charlton generally draws score. Is there? And Stoke has no defense. I'm waiting to see what number we get on an over 3.5 here. We think there's going to be another goal.
They're in trouble to go down to the League One, aren't they?
Stoke?
Yeah. Aren't they pretty far down the table? I haven't looked in a while. I think they're pretty far down on the table.
This is maybe my normal championship thing, I say. Who's ever in first won't be in first by the end of the year. We've talked about, we splattered where we've had Leeds in first. They're the best team. West Brom's been in first. West Brom's still barely holding on to a 1-point lead. Brentford and Fulham are two teams I said I would take a shot on. They're 3 points off the table. Stoke is in 19th place. They're playing 20th place Charlton. Both teams have basically given up 40-plus goals, more goals than they've actually scored.
Wow.
So I would definitely – I still look at that. I could see another goal in this game. I'm trying to see what number I get. Stoke City is minus 125 to get the next goal in regulation. No goal is plus 220. Oh, they didn't even give you 3.5. They jumped it all the way to 4.5. And 4.5 is
That's a lot.
yeah, that's not for a championship league. Yeah, that's not happening. Anything in the French league? I noticed SPR is not doing anything in the French league anymore. Is that just because we lost the French guy?
I don't know what happened to Stewart. I don't ask questions like that, so I don't know why we're not doing League One.
Yeah.
I mean it would make sense, but I don't know where he went.
Anything you like? Monaco Amiens is an interesting game. Marseille.
I think I was looking at Marseille.
Yeah.
Marseille's
at least at home, which helps out.
Yeah, I was on them a couple weeks ago on the road, and they didn't come through.
Yeah, they crapped out.
I always look for ways to back PSG. I know a lot of people like to stay away from them, but I think they're rather easily handicapped, depending on their lineup and how Neymar is feeling.
Yeah, well, I think when the fact they told PSG that he wasn't going anywhere, Neymar wasn't going anywhere, he's kind of bought in here. And
he settled in, yeah. He settled in and actually played how he can play.
Yeah, because, I mean, talent-wise, there's nobody that's close.
PSG's. I think I said that last weekend is my biggest fear in Champions League for Liverpool to defend their title. I mean, PSG are just dangerous.
Yep. Well, that's what I was saying on the one show. I was telling people, I was like, nobody wants a matchup versus PSG. Nobody does. They're the team that everyone like somebody else to knock them off before they have to face them.
Yeah.
Way too much talent to sit there and have. Paderborn just ties it up for Schalke.
Man, you're a good 20 seconds ahead of me.
Look at Soccer 2-4 right there. It's already told you.
They're a good 20 seconds ahead too.
That's what the funniest thing is. Well, that's how I knew. That's when you sit there and you look at like you're watching live television. You're not watching live on most of these channels. You're watching like delay by like 10, 15 seconds.
Yeah,
All
every
right.
time I'm watching tennis and like before the point happens, it happens on my betting app already, so I know like who got the point before the serve even goes off. I'm like, that's the point of this.
Let's switch gears a little bit here. We'll come back to soccer as we kind of delve in, but we kind of hit some of the later games. We'll look at some live action. Let's go back to NCAA basketball.
Yeah, I want to get back to what Rich was talking about, Florida at Ole Miss.
Okay.
Ole Miss has covered 4 straight games. They've covered this spread. So what happened was I was all about Ole Miss about a month ago, and then 3,
Yeah.
and then every time I bet on them, they screwed me. And then all of a sudden I was like, all right, you know what? Screw Ole Miss. And then they start covering, the past 3 games they covered the spread. Florida's clearly the more superior team, but the problem is like Mike White just won't let them loose for some reason. He's just he's playing really conservative, and he's not getting the potential out of that team that he should have, because on any given night, Florida on the floor probably has the most talent out of like most of the teams in college basketball, but none of those guys are living up to their potential, and it's mostly because of the coaching. So I feel like you can't really take Florida -3 because you just don't know which Florida you're going to get. And more often than not, you're probably going to get the Florida that doesn't live up to its potential. So I like Ole Miss at home +3. Ole Miss is also 60 in the nation in free throw rate, and Florida is bottom 60 in opponent free throw rate. So they foul a lot, and they'll put Ole Miss up to the line. So I think Ole Miss with 3 points at home is a good look.
So you're going back to the well with Ole Miss. Last week we got 12.5. Florida, we got you're not buying Florida's tremendous win of basically just kind of telling Georgia not good enough. But Georgia covers that game. But I don't know. I was thinking Florida here. I just think they're on a roll. And I think you said the one thing you said, Mike White won't let them lose. And if you can get 2 or 3 points, I think they'll win by 2 or 3 points. They even beat that red-hot Vandy team. They haven't lost since they played the Baylor.
It's true. Yeah.
I don't know. I lean Florida here. Now, is Mississippi an official play?
No, it's more of a lean. And I'm going to stay away from that one. But if you wanted to get on that one, because I know Rich brought it up, so I would lean more with Ole Miss just because of that. Like I just don't know which Florida team I'm going to get, and Ole Miss has been playing well as up to late. So,
okay, I can definitely see it. I mean, I can see it going different ways. I don't know. At that point, I take the hot team and I take my chances. Let's move on down the card a little bit. Nova, Seton Hall, 3.5, 141.
It's one of those situational spots. You got Nova coming into the game with back-to-back losses. Now they're at home. Well, it's not like a true home game. I think they're playing at the what is that? Where do the 76ers play?
Where the Adelphia Arena?
Yeah, it's some arena, but it's basically like a home game for them.
Wells Fargo Center, that's what it is. Yep.
Yeah, Wells Fargo Center. Yeah, they're playing at Wells Fargo. So it's almost like a home game for them. And they're just so hard to beat in games like this, where they have to rise up. I think they've lost two on the road back to back. I mean, not on the road, but they've lost 2 back to back. And now they have to rise up. Seton Hall's honestly going to have to play a perfect game for them to win this game. Nova isn't there like talent wise against Seton Hall, but I think with motivation and being at home, I would lean with Nova here to win at home and to cover the spread.
So Nova minus the 3.5, especially after
is it 3.5 now?
Yep.
I was like, it was -3 this morning, so it looks like it's getting pounded at the -3.
So if you can get the 3, that's what you take it. That's a play.
Yeah, I would take it at 3.
All right, so Nova -3. We're looking at. KG would like to get XFL totals because obviously he would like to take the under. Swansea scores, makes it 1-1 versus Derby. So definitely look at. I could see the Nova -3. That Swansea game, still a whole lot of game. I'm really surprised QPR and Huddersfield hasn't even scored. Looks like Hatafe is going to get on the board here. Going to start up 1-0. What's going on right now? Yep, Hatafe on the board. I got to learn all my symbols here. That helps me out. Looks. What about the one of my favorite plays? And I don't know where to go with this play because to me, it's my second favorite over team in the whole country. Is
Gonzaga?
My number 1 is Gonzaga. My number 2 is Louisville. Virginia comes to Louisville, and you're getting a 114.
Damn. I mean, like they both.
I'm going to give this out an official play. It may win, it may lose, but of everything I've seen from Louisville, they can hit outside shots. They'll be able to drive the key. They have the bigger size. They can play tough defense as well. I can actually see this game getting a little set over early, especially if Virginia can't score the basketball.
I was going to say I like the over too in this one. It's just about who can dictate pace, and I think and Louisville can, like you said, Louisville has the power to take control of that pace. And put up
they're 5th in the country in 3-point shots.
Yeah.
So if you're going to sit there and play a 2-3 zone, I think Louisville's just going to bombard them from outside. And I think 114 is too small. I'm official play over 114 in Louisville. I'm going to take it. I'm not touching anything on the 7.5, but definitely an official play. I think 114 is too small. Rich G is letting everybody know he's on every single under, and Swansea just got their damn second goal. We go from in the penthouse to in the doghouse in a matter of 4 minutes. Yep, that's there. Still time left. We still got 30 minutes left. Hoffenheim doesn't look like it's going to come through here. It looks like they're going to crap the bed for me in 2 ways.
Is it safe to say, like, as much as fit as these soccer guys are, that, a lot of times in the late in the second half, they all start to gas out, like their legs and just their energy. Like, so like when they're pounding on the goal in the first half, you're not going to see that in the second half for most teams in general.
Yeah, it depends. You lose your legs a little bit, but that a lot of times helps the offense because the defense is the one that's kind of left their legs, because it's very odd a lot of times in soccer for the substitutions to be on the defensive side, unless there was really an injury or someone has a yellow card and looks like they're just being an ass out there and the coach wants to pull him before he gets a second yellow. But for the most part, they're going to leave those guys out there 90 minutes, run up and down. If you get a team that's just constantly making runs, even if they're not getting the ball, you're still running with them. And so by the second half, there's times that those guys tire out, or the substitution that came in. Looks like Stoke might have had a goal, but it was disallowed. The championship is just kind of blown up here in the the last 5 minutes. Brentford has pulled up 2. Middlesbrough got 1. That covered over 2.5 in 3 minutes. Wolfsburg still keeps on knocking on the door here, but they're just trying to get the point at this point. Oh, that was a stupid pass. All right, let's look a little bit more what we're looking at coming on in basketball. We talked about the Louisville game.
I like St. Louis to cover at Dayton.
They're getting what, 8, 6, 9? I saw that game.
No, I think I had at 14 before, but
13 and a half. Okay, 14. All right, St. Louis plus 14. Okay.
Yeah, because in their first meeting they went into overtime, and that was the win by Dayton. I think Dayton's going to respect them this time around. I guess a few facts out there. St. Louis I think they're in the bottom 10 in college basketball and made free throws, and they missed 17 free throws. But they only lost by 2 against Dayton in that first overtime win. So if out of 17 free throws, if they had just made 3 of them, they would have won that game. And I would lean to, I would take St. Louis to cover this game. The Flyers, Dayton's 2-point, I think it's their 2-point opponent scoring rate. They give up the most, and they're in the bottom 100, and St. Louis is actually in the top 25 in opponent scoring rate. So Dayton can give up a lot of points. This is also why I think Dayton's a fraud, how everybody makes them seem like they're such a great team, but they play in such a shit conference, so they build up great stats beating up on like crap teams, and the only team in there that can like really challenge them is St. Louis, and I think St. Louis will do that today. So I think St. Louis will cover the 14 against Dayton.
All right, so we'll put that at play. Do your line, Chap. I still see some 14s out there. So with 13.5 is also out there as well. Hoffenheim craps out. That's a loss. That's a loss twice. 0-2 on premium play. That sucks today. Yeah. Oh, the worst part is I definitely was going to do some other plays. I was going back and forth on where that ranked. Wolfsburg basically draws. That's a push. We don't lose anything on the live play for plus 180. They finally end that right now. If you weren't watching, Atafe scored, but it was called back for VAR. Middlesbrough, Brentford, we've got 4 goals in the last 7 minutes. This is just going crazy. Werder Bremen, Union Bremen stops at 2. A lot of people thought that was going over 2.5, so we don't get the German Bundesliga is not providing us the goals Liga today at all. You're really holding on to the Schalke game, aren't you here, Chef? So we've got just under a minute to play. That'll be the call. Schalke draws, doesn't happen. So Mainz and Hertha Berlin. Berlin just picks up a red card at the end just for fun. All right, moving on. We talked about the Georgia Tech Pittsburgh game earlier when Twatty was on. Everybody's
There's Oklahoma State at Baylor.
What?
There's Oklahoma State at Baylor. I like Baylor to cover that 13 points.
As a play?
No, but I'm always looking for a great fade spot for Baylor. I have been for the past like 4 weeks, and every time they just shove it in my face. But this is definitely not a great fade spot for Baylor because Oklahoma State just sucks, especially on the road. And Baylor just keeps grinding it out, and I expect them to do the same thing against Oklahoma State. I think what's going to end up happening is probably by the start of the second half, Oklahoma State's going to be down by like 9 or 10 points, and then at that point, it's either regroup and let's try to win this game, or they're just overpowering us and let's just give up, and then that thing breaks open and Baylor wins by like 20 or like 18. So I would, for those people looking at this game, I would take Baylor. What happened?
We got Derby tied it up, so our draw double chance is winning right now. We got Fulham with the first goal of that game, so we're up 1-0. So we're alive in the money line. We're alive in the draw no bet. We've got Huddersfield breaking it open versus QPR, scoring their second goal. So hopefully my personal over 2.5 comes in. We got Hertha Berlin's red card because they decided to do that. Mine's got another goal. Doesn't really help us. It was just kind of interesting. So still alive, still got some plays here. Overall should be a positive day. Charles Coley says he's like St. Louis money line.
No, he was. I think he's talking about the first game, the first time they played St. Louis, and
he had St. Louis.
And he had St. Louis money line in that game, and it was honestly St. Louis should have won that game. Dayton pulled that out of their ass, but.
Atafi got their second goal, so if you're on Atafi, you're looking pretty good there, which I am personally. That's a plus 115. Stoke and Charlton. Stoke's about to score again here. Damn it! I knew I should have just played with that Stoke next goal. They're up 3-1. We missed a chance there. We talked about it, but just didn't pull the trigger. All right. One of the other games I penciled in, kind of looked at that I had, there was a later game, was 2 games for you. I wanted to get your thoughts. Texas Tech and Texas.
Yep. That one I'd go with.
Texas is now the same exact record as Texas Tech.
Give me Texas -2. I think it's a 2-point. Last time I checked, actually, when I was scrolling through, is it 2 points?
I see it at 2 and 2.5 out there, but I'll give you 2.
Yeah, even 2.5, I'll take that. I mean, I think on neutral, especially like if this was a neutral court, definitely give me Texas Tech. The thing that worries me here kind of is like there are these bubble teams like Texas, right? And right now they're a bubble team to get into the tournament. So usually the formula for bubble teams is you win your home games, you defend your home court, and then you try to sneak a road win here and there against, one or two teams. But I feel like a loss for Texas Tech here isn't a big deal. Not saying that they're not going to come in here wanting to win. They will, but there could be a potential where they're just they're like, all right, this is just another game. It's not one that we have to win. And Texas has everything on the line right now because they're on the bubble of getting into the tournament. But I think overall Texas Tech is starting to get hot. They're kind of like Maryland a couple weeks ago when they just started to come on, and now Maryland's rolling. Texas Tech is the same. They're at that spot where they're just like clicking and everything's going for them. And if you look at what Texas relies on a lot, it's their 3-point scoring. So they rank second in 3-point scoring in the Big 12. And Texas Tech is giving up the lowest 3-point scoring rate and percentage in the Big 12. So Texas's biggest weapon is Texas Tech's, biggest defense right there. So I don't see Texas being able to make the threes to beat Texas Tech here. So I like Texas Tech in this spot.
All right. Is that an official play?
Yeah, Texas Tech -2.
Texas Tech -2. The worst part is I took that the wrong way, and I took Texas, and I literally just took Texas.
I mean, it's not a bad look, but it's not enough. I just don't think Texas has enough talent here. All
right, so let me get out of that bet. I'll take that on a money line just to get out, and I'll have a little bit of cushion. That's all right. I'm not worried about it. Alabama, Georgia. Does Alabama have their guys back?
I haven't actually looked at if they have the one guy back, but without him, they've been struggling.
Is Yella still in here? Yella, you still in the chat? there a way to see who actually is in the chat?
I don't think there is. I was trying to look for that, but I couldn't find a way to see like a list of all the people in here.
I mean, this is the lowest spread I've ever seen with Georgia all year.
I think it's more because they covered against Florida, didn't they?
Yeah, they covered just barely, but yes.
Just barely.
I mean, but this is one. This is a pick'em game essentially. They covered by the hook. It was 6.5. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends on me if the one guy from Alabama is back. If he is, I like Bama to roll here, but if not, I like Georgia at home. Georgia's a good home team. I think they'll protect their court here. So I guess it all just comes down to that. I'm actually looking up to see if I can find.
Just go to RotoWire and look at
Roto
basketball. Yep.
RotoWire.
So what we're looking at here, just I play some of the soccer games that go on. We got Derby in a 2-2 tie. We got Stoke smacking Charlton in 3-1. We got Luton, Cardiff. Cardiff is about to score. It's going to be 1-0. What do you have on that again, Sean?
I had both teams to score, which didn't look like it's happening. But
well, if Cardiff can get one, you're still alive. We got Fulham up 1-0. The Bundesliga, did I just crap out on that?
So Herb Jones is out for Alabama.
Yeah, if Jones is out, I'm going to take the -1. I'm going to take Georgia -1.
I would take Georgia -1 in that.
I'm going to definitely just take Georgia -1. I'll make that official play. Let's see if the 5'8" guy can actually do something. I definitely like him. Let's get to the game. I'm sure some people want to talk about Duke, North Carolina. You gave me Baylor earlier, -12.5.
Yeah, -13.
But that was that a play or that was a lean?
That was just a lean.
Was that a play or a lean?
But I was just saying if anybody's looking at that game, it's a lean. I'm just saying, but if anybody's looking at that game, any of the other cappers out there, that was my view on that.
All right, thanks, Yellow. That's what we wanted to know. Duke, UNC. I'm sorry, I've watched this UNC team. I know this game is normally close, but I don't see it. You saw the overreaction tremendously this week versus Florida State that we talked about, and versus Boston College. So they go out and they beat NC State, and they beat them by 10. Then you got 12 points if you're BC. And they lose to BC by 1. So they lose straight up. Then they come out and they play Florida State. They play Florida State tough. It's 6 points games. Now they're going to play Duke. I don't see it. Cole Anthony was absolutely terrible in the last game. As long as Duke has basically almost everybody in, I see Duke covering the 7 pretty easily. I don't think playing in the Dean Dome has been that big of a deal. It's like, oh, you got to defend home court. Yes, and everybody and their mother is going to be out for this game, and everyone's going to be hyped up for this game. But I see nobody on Carolina that can play with Vernon Carey. Nobody.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I'm going to watch this game, but I'm definitely going to watch it on mute because I just can't take Dick Vitale's voice anymore and his commentary. But I feel like Cole Anthony is the biggest unknown, right? All his numbers are in the gutter right now. And he's such a wild card. But if he did go off for 30 points today, I wouldn't be surprised because he has the talent. But you got Trey Jones, who's going to be on him, who's the best defensive guard. And yeah, I mean, can you trust? I guess it all comes down to can you trust North Carolina's best playmaker, which is Cole Anthony? I think Duke gives up a lot of points inside the arc, but I don't trust UNC here. You just don't know what you're going to get with them. So yeah, I would lean with Duke if you were to bet that game.
Yeah, opponents are only shooting less than 30% from 3 against Duke, but Duke is shooting over 354. Duke is owning the glass and will definitely own the glass in this game. Basically, they get 42 rebounds a game, where opponents get 36. I break in this game the matchups 6 ways from Sunday. I have watched this Carolina team out there. The one thing I will say, I'm definitely will be a play Duke -7, and I'm actually going to take the over 150.
I like the over here. Yeah.
Because if this turns into a traditional Duke North Carolina game, that means there's going to be 170 points scored in this game. They're both going to run up and down, shoot shots really, really early in the shot clock. And I think it definitely goes over. I think it actually flies over. This is the kind of game where I definitely think I like Duke -7, and I'm going to take the over 150. All right, let's get down towards the business end. All right, we're also taking I know this was 2 last night. It's 3.5. The Salukis -3.5.
Southern Illinois. Did they cover? I think I bet them. Did they?
Yeah, they won.
They
covered the 3.5. They won by 4 in overtime. They shouldn't have even got to overtime, but yeah. The Duke line's already marched up. I'm looking at an 8 right now. I'm not loving 8. CBS is showing a 7. I'm loving a 7 a lot more than an 8. Obvious reasons. But I like the Salukis here. I think they come again versus a bad Missouri State team. They've been turning the corner. They're getting great guard play. They've been up the last couple games. They play good defense. I like the Salukis here. I like them at 2 a lot better than I like them at 3.5. But at home, I lean the Salukis.
All right.
All
yeah,
right.
Rich. I like Penn State too, -6 at home. Penn State's just rolling right now. There's nothing stopping them, and Minnesota's not going to be the team to cause an upset here.
All right, here I'm going to give you a 4-team parlay on that. I was looking for a 12 o'clock game, and I'll take that. So this will be an official 4-team parlay as soon as I can figure out where the world Penn State is. To give you what the number is. Penn State's at 12 o'clock, right? No,
it's
a
4.
4.
If you're looking for 12 o'clock, I would say, fuck, where's Osh?
No, I'll take the 4. I'm fine with the Penn. I was trying to figure out a way to get on Penn State. I thought that their last big win is definitely kind of opened my eyes. I know they can shoot from the outside. If they can't shoot from the outside, they have some issues. But yeah, give you a +360. Take Penn State money line, Texas Tech money line, Duke money line, and I'm taking the Salukis to follow it up. +360.
Nice.
What else we got? Anything?
You got your team tonight, Gonzaga.
Yeah, I like that.
I like the over in this one. I think both teams.
I like the over in every Gonzaga game.
I mean, both defenses aren't anything special. So, and Gonzaga has the size advantage over St. Mary's, so there's no worry about an upset here. But I think both of them just put up a lot of points because St. Mary's can score.
Yeah. I mean, St. Mary's can score, but why is the line 6? They destroyed them at home. Is somebody out?
No, I think, honestly, I mean, I don't think anybody's out. I think, hasn't Gonzaga had a couple close games, though, recently?
Yeah, they had a good game at San Francisco. It was good in the first half, but I think they still won by 8 or 9, or if I remember. Here, I can look it up right here. I've got them right here. Yeah, they ended up winning by 4, that game. Then Loyola Marymount played them close a little bit, but then they still won by 18. So, I mean, the last time they played St. Mary's, Oh, they didn't play St. Mary's. That was okay.
And
That's
St.
why.
Mary's has been playing pretty well. Like they're not.
Well, St. Mary's is normally the second version group in that conference. It's generally Gonzaga, and then St. Mary's is a respectable basketball team. They're always on the bubble every year, whether or not they get in or not. So I could definitely see that. Valencia just picked up a red card, so Hatafe 2-0 looks like that's just going to stick. Damn it, I looked at that too. So I mean, you got to. I'm sorry, 149. I see a 149 under 150. I can see it, which also means I got a pretty nice. What is St. Mary's score and a half? Let's look here. St. Mary's average is 76 points per game. Opponent score 65. St. Mary's is second in the country in 3-point percentage. $24-5. Derby picks up the score. Yes, that one's going to come home for us. It's going to be 3-2 there. Hopefully that'll come through. The other game there that we just saw.
Oh, Rich is right. Yeah, Tilly is still out. That's probably why.
Okay. That's why I said, is anybody still hurt in that game? Now, Tilly would be a big deal. Kind of the straw that stirs the drink. Blackburn is going to tie here against Fulham. So,
what conference are they in? They're in the Mountain West or MB?
They're in the
WCC.
They're in the West Coast.
Oh, West Coast, yeah.
I was like, that. I know that wasn't right.
Yeah.
Yes, the Blackburn goal was called for offsides. All right, still alive in that Fulham. Got a little ass clench for 10 minutes.
I'm saying Tilly has a game time decision, so yeah, he's not out. But
all right, I'll just take the over 149 then. I feel more confident in that than with that. So if he's not completely out, I'll just take the over 149.
Y'all was asking about your parlay again.
All right, I took Penn State money line. I took Texas Tech money line. I'm taking Duke money line, and I'm taking the Salukis. You can follow up that last team if whatever you want. You can take Gonzaga money line if you want. It'll be probably plus 330 instead of plus 390.
Yeah, or like Kansas money line, or
I'm not sold on Kansas. Kansas wouldn't be one that I would just literally just come out and say, I know they're playing TCU, but that game's on the road.
Yeah,
I love playing that last game, at least at home.
okay.
I mean, that's going to be the issue with Gonzaga, too. Here, they're going to be on the road for that last game. But, yeah, they should win the game because you never know. Teams can obviously get up for a game. Do we trust this Providence game versus Xavier?
Providence at home?
Providence on the road.
Oh, Providence on the road? Then,
At
yeah,
Xavier.
then Xavier at home. I would take that.
Even though that went so well for us last week.
I know.
That game was over before we started. Let's go first half, Seton Hall. Yeah, they're down 30. All right.
That was just like, I don't know what the hell that happened there. That was something.
Providence comes here a little bit on a winning streak. I mean, I think the Big East a little bit is overrated, but they beat Creighton at home. They beat Butler at Butler. They go to at Xavier today.
I think it's a letdown spot for Providence. I think after those two big wins,
they can't afford a letdown spot.
That's true. They're on the cusp, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, the 13-10. I mean, at this point, they can't get to 11 or 12 losses. They're done if they do that. Oh.
At my notes, yeah, they're 500 in con.
We got a lineup yet?
But they.
All right, we do have lineups for Dortmund. As what we see, let's kind of go over those real quick. Sancho's playing. Holland's playing. The old premier Liverpool player is playing today. Amri Khan
Old man.
gets the play for Dortmund here. Chef, what do you feel about that?
Yeah, it's good to see him in there. They were talking about that yesterday, that he'd be the first Liverpool player to play for Dortmund in the starting lineup. But it's good.
Yeah. You look at who they're running off on the bench. They've got a kid that I've never heard of. Kotze is in there. He'll be the secondary scorer that comes in. Reina does make the club. Oh, and an open goal. Hatafe gets the third. Wide open. So that gets the third. Like I said, that game was over. You got Hazard coming in off the benches there. Piszczek's off the bench. Reina's there. And then two other guys you never see the field ever again. Kai Havertz in the middle. Kevin Folland up top. Larby. I mean, I definitely see goals in this game. That would be the way I push. I actually still think Dortmund, because they're at home. No, they're not home here. Yeah. I still think Dortmund's got a chance to win this game. I just don't think Leverkusen have been that strong. They've been better at home, but that hasn't been versus anybody who's actually got talent. Both teams come here with decent form, but again, Dortmund's played the better competition, but for the most part, yeah. I don't know. I see over 3.5 is the safe side to go. That's the way I'm going to lean. You got Torino Sampdoria. They're getting ready to kick off with their lineups. Gabbiadini is again, of course. That's the guy you look for there. Pilate's back in for Torino. Andrea Pilate. That team doesn't scare me. We're still waiting on the PSV lineup later today at 1:45. We still got the last 5 more minutes to kick off here on finish these championship games. Can't believe one going to be freaking putzes. Sorry. Are there anything late action? I mean, you got huge favorites in San Diego State who people like to look at. You got the BYU San Francisco game. Why is that 9.5?
Really? 9.5?
Yeah.
Is it at San Francisco?
No, it's at BYU.
It's at BYU. That's San Francisco, not that good on the road. And BYU is pretty good at home. But 9.5 seems a lot to me.
Yep. I want to see if I gave something out. I can't remember. I think I did. It's a later game. It's not on the play card if you looked at it, but it is in the Discord. No, it's not. I stopped at that. Okay. All right. No problem. There's a game I really, really like. I was wondering if I actually gave it out. Okay. Hasn't started. It's later today. I was trying to decide how I was going to give it, though.
By the way, guys, if you don't do well in college basketball this afternoon, there's always time to catch up on UFC late at night. You know, you could chase down that money, chase down your losses on a two fighter parlay. So hope is not lost.
And it's definitely, I mean, MMA here. I'm going to tell you what my buddy's facing. He was spot on perfect the last time we did this. So bear with me. This will be the only MMA that I'm going to give. I like John Jones to win. I think John Jones wins by decision. Was his play. If those of you saw my basketball play for me and my buddy we had Rockets money line and John Jones money line the other day. So amazingly, the Rockets actually came through for us. So that was a plus 286, I think. So we definitely are looking that we're going to cash some money tonight. I like Lewis to win, but of course, all these guys are huge favorites. there because that's the only way UFC seems to like it. One guy's a minus 300 and the other guy's a minus 200. But as always, there always are upsets. So take a look. Where's my other buddy here? 1 second. Let me pull up his picks. Oh, there he is. He's got Tafa at plus 205. That's one of his plays he likes today. That's one of the dogs plays. And that's the only. And then he has, the other ones are the same ones that we were just looking at, which is Jones, Shevchenko by decision.
You actually think the Shevchenko match is going to go to decision?
I think it's the only thing you can really bet on.
I think she destroys her in the first round.
I think she destroys her, but you don't get any good number on that. So, I think it's a women's fight. She should destroy her. Most of those don't last as long, so I can see it. Andrea Lee to win. Derek Lewis to win, maybe one of those parlays. I mean, that's the only way to play at UFC to me. On a lot of these things, you just like 2 or 3 fighters, put them together, get your little parlay, and maybe get a unit on some of these things, and then take a chance on one of the dogs. I mean, it's there. But that's enough about MMA. None of us are real MMA cappers. I'm not going to pretend to be.
No.
Rich has already got his MMA bets locked in. I'll throw them in the end of parlays I do just to kind of increase the parlay, and that's about it. All right, so we're getting close here to the end of the show right here around 12 o'clock. Anything else?
Oh, yeah, Rich, Rich just asked about Hofstra and Northeastern. I like Hofstra in that one. I just think they have a solid top 100 offense, and they're one of the more experienced teams, and I think they should be able to penetrate Northeastern's defense to win that game. So, I like Hofstra there.
We got 50 million plays. Again, Hatafe one, that was good for me. Sacramento one. Like I said, my best favorite NBA play is first half Milwaukee minus 4.5 tonight. That's an early game at 5 o'clock. It's looking. I was trying to see if there was something else. Colorado, Stanford. I know you've been on Stanford the last couple of games, which we've cashed a couple.
But they screwed us the last one.
You're getting 8.5
at Colorado.
Yep.
I like Colorado there to cover that. I mean, and that if I were to be asked, I like Colorado. Colorado at home is just a totally different team. They wreck their opponents. So, all
right. So let's go over your official plays just so everybody has them for the show. My official plays is Chef's got Watford draw double chance. We're both on Fulham 7 ways from Sunday, and we've got 1 more minute here. We're just ass clinching. I assume that's the game he's watching. Chef hasn't even said a word here in a second. Unfortunately, Cardiff Luton is 1-0. You don't win your both teams' chance there. Just to let you know, Luton sucks. Definitely would try to stay away from Luton. That's a public service announcement. Definitely would take there. We are on Indiana. I'm on Indiana minus 2.5. Michigan State minus 2.5. Over 114. Louisville. Georgia minus 1. Duke minus 7. And the over 150. Twatty's on Pittsburgh minus 1.5. Shocks is on Rhode Island minus 9.5. And Nova minus 3. St. Louis plus 14. Texas Tech minus 2. Take that. We went 0-1, 0-1-1 in the live plays. Lock came on, gave us Kings money line, Vegas money line, Dallas money line, Islanders money line, Leafs over 6.5, a bunch of other overs, which I didn't write down. They're in the Discord, though, if you want them. Chef gave us a live Fulham play. That's still in play. Fulham wins. That cashes 1-0. Fulham takes that. The money line hits. The draw no bet hits. The live play hits. That's the way we do it. 3-0 again on that. We'll take that any day of the week. There. A couple leans we had. Miami under 144. Kentucky under 133. LSU +5. Baylor -13. Anything else do we want to go over before the show ends? What you're looking at? Any other plays you're looking at? I've got 2 soccer plays. I'll probably put them in the Discord. I'm kind of waiting to see how some things work out first. So, and what's play? One of my big leans there. It may turn into a play is the Kentucky -2.5. I still think that's just definitely a great chance here to cash. Like I said, we're waiting on New Orleans, Indiana to see what's happened with Brandon Ingram. Clippers, Minnesota, we're going to take the over. Over 230 is what we gave it early in the morning. It's now already up to 231.5. And I'm definitely going to probably take the Lakers first quarter at -3. Rich is on Penn State. Hofstra, Virginia, Texas Tech, over 53. Northern Iowa, -9. Oklahoma, Texas. Anything else from you guys before we end the show?
That's it.
All right, so just to refresh how we did on the show. From the ticker, we actually did very well. Atalanta won straight up. Over 3 push. Both teams to score cashed. Fulham money line wins. Derby draw double chance wins. We lose the Wolfsburg. So we lose the Hoffenheim live +345. We push the Wolfsburg line. We win the Fulham live line. So overall, another very profitable show. Hope you all came in, enjoyed. Tell your friends. We will be back next week. Chef, any last words from you?
I'm looking at Marseille right now, -1 at 1.95.
What's the score on that?
0-0.
Why do we get a -1 when they were like -145 to start the game?
Right. So they're peppering their goal right now. They already have 2 corners. I think we can see that coming fairly easily.
Let me see if I can get a Marseille. Olympique Marseille.
Are we getting on Marseille? Is that?
Well, he's getting on a Marseille -1. What are you getting on that?
1.95.
You say they're peppering their goal right now, right?
They have been.
You think they score this half?
It's possible.
First half is +175.
I could see it.
Yeah, I'm not watching the game, so right there. Also, I just want to give you 2 public services. As always, this show is brought to you by Dyson. If you're ever in a cold room, please get the hot and cool fan. It will definitely take care of your whole entire room with no issue whatsoever.
Hey, it's cold as shit out here right now, too.
Dude, it's like 40 degrees. I've had this thing on there. I am sweating. I've got my pants already jacked up to both of my knees. This thing is the greatest thing ever.
The sun's out. You look outside, the sun's out. It looks like it's about 80 degrees outside, but it's 36 degrees.
In your neck of the woods, that's definitely changed. QPR does not get the over. That sucks. So we're on Marseille. You're saying -1 is what?
1.95. It's the best I see right now.
All right, so 1.95 for Marseille. I'm going to go ahead and take. Is there any goal defense in that game? Sorry, there's a Portugal game. If you haven't noticed, it's been clicking on the screen. It's just beating the crap out of this team. The other team's got a red card. It's 6-0. Should have definitely got on that live. I saw that too, and just All right, you're gonna go 195. I'm gonna take as a personal bet. You could challenge there. It's not gonna be a show thing, but I took the Marseille first half. If they're playing real well, one of the things I want to say, most people don't realize, if you have BN Sports, if you do BN Sports online, they actually give you 12 channels to choose from. So even if you're only showing one French league game because that's what's on television, you actually go online and download the app, you get every French League game, every La Liga game is generally just on there. It's just on a different beIN Sports channel. It's kind of very interesting. I discovered that today. It's surprisingly all available as long as you get the channel. So
yeah, they have the beIN Sports package. Has about 8 channels on it that just shows nothing but soccer all day.
Yeah, so definitely recommend it. It's actually a pretty great thing to do. So on that note, we've had a good show. Hopefully the rest of your day is good. Obviously, we'll be in the Discord. We'll be around on Twitter. Crap. Too Loose just scored.
Of course they did.
The only question is whether it's called for offsides. That's why that little dot brought to our friends at Soccer24 immediately just shows we've got a goal that's could count or possibly not count. We'll see if it turns into a goal, still being checked. But other than that, thanks for everybody for joining. We got a good show, good people in the chat. Continue to spread the news. We got all people around. We had a couple new people that I hadn't seen in the chat. That's good. Please write out. I will take your likes and your tweets there. I'll take your dislikes. I don't really care. But thanks for everybody giving up your morning, and good luck for the rest of the show. Thanks, guys. Good to be the Fox.